Today is about me and about the angels, for that is what it is that I am. And so it is that I am delighted, as well as my other angelic friends and ascended beings and masters and what you are calling guides, to be here today to talk to you about our energy and how it is connected to you. For it is that we are wanting you to know that we love and adore who you are. And although you may have forgotten us in the sense of you are wanting to connect, we are a part of you, and you have always known us, for we have a job from the angelic realm to come and to stir and to knock on your door and to wake you up, to remember who you are, for that is the essence of our work. For it is that my work is to remind you in an awakened way to the place in which you originated from. And we had a little agreement, you and I and all of you, is that when you came across the Council of Light and made the conscious decision, which was quite brave, to drop down and to spiral into density, into the beautiful form and matter of Mother Earth and all that she has to offer, to be held in the magnificent form of the temple body that you are in. You knew that in doing so, that part of that was that a veil would come across you, and as the veil came across, there would be a forgetting about our conversation, the Council of Light, who you are, and the being of love that resides inside and all around you, the source of all that is, for that you would get caught in the personality and in the mind and in the daily activities of being human. And in doing that, you asked if I got so caught in that humanness, in matter and form and in material and all that comes, that can be very intoxicating and beautiful as well, of the earth process, that you would come and remind me of who I was and wake me up so that I could fulfill my divine purpose. And so that is my role. That is what it is that I do. I come to awaken that part in you, to remind you of who you are and where you came from, so that you can walk on the earth in your body temple in a more alert and conscious state rather than an unconscious state. And so as your earth is shifting and moving and awakening, the consciousness, as we speak of, is awakening, and that consciousness is the collection of all of your energies together, remembering who you are. And when the consciousness is fully awakened or alert in that knowing and reconnected, it is that the experience of being in a body and being here on earth will begin to shift dramatically. And so we are working from a perspective of awakening as many as we can in order to have a momentum, in a sense, that it ripples through the collective consciousness in order to shift the way in which you are perceiving these experiences. And so it's fascinating that you're all coming together in this way, and that you're asking of this question, because it gives us an opportunity to explain. We're sorry. Often when we are working with Kelly, if there's distraction in her environment, it can sometimes interfere with our communication. There's some movement in her home. So we will try to recalibrate, for her distraction begins to disconnect us a bit. And so perhaps it is best to move into your questions. What is it?
Good morning, Raphael. Thank you so much. We love you, love you, love you. Our first question is, what exactly are angels and where do you live?
Explaining where it is that we live is not something we can do with the language in which we have to use. For it is that we are in a place that cannot be described from your perspective. It is a sea in a sense of oneness. It is a place of complete, utter joy and peace, to what you might understand it to be as the 0 point or the null point. It is the point of nothingness and the point of everything, all in one. It is omnipresent. It just is. And it is that we sleep and live and dwell in that sea of blissfulness. When you begin to leave your body, sometimes if you're in deep meditation, you start to sense it. We do not have thoughts in the way that you have thoughts. We do not have linear time in the way that you have linear time. We don't move in sequence, and we don't identify ourselves as separate, for we are everything, and everything is us. And so it is that is where we dwell, in a place of what you might think of as nothing, and yet it is everything. And so it is that we also maintain the privilege of being able to return to that place, in a sense that is our resting point, and yet we can merge out of it into an individualized energy or entity that is understood from your perspective as angelic, with a name, whether it be Raphael or Michael or Gabriel or Ariel, whatever energy is assigned to the signature of our blueprint, our vibration of who we are. And with that comes an assignment of where our work is to be focused and generated when it is in relative connection to humanity and to the needs of the human form and Mother Earth. We have a very special place in our heart for Mother Earth. The planet is unique, and it is one that we all need to evolve and to heal and to awaken and to return to its original state. And so our, what would be your word? Devotion, in a sense, to this planet is extremely strong, and to humanity as a whole. And so it is that I am assigned, in a sense, as Raphael, not only to Mother Earth and to humanity, but to the frequency of healing, wherever that needs to take place, in whatever form it needs to take place. As my great dear friend, Archangel Michael's energy moves outside of that to become identified as form with the name of which it is that he has, he identifies with the energy of protection and seeing over and slaying energies that are not in alignment with unconditional love. So in a sense, his assignment, although it is also very healing, is a bit different than mine. And so there are unlimited beings of light and angelic energies or angels with different assignments that are connected to specific things as oversight for the oversoul of particular areas, whether it to be in education or in science or in relationship and love or in abundance. And we come in the form as an angelic being is that we have never been here in a physical body, for we have never chosen to descend into form and matter to be held in the way in which you are held in the temple of the light of your human body, for we've never been in a body. Often you speak of the masters, and many of them have lived and walked upon your planet lifetime after lifetime and have become a master in the understanding of who they are, elevating their vibrancy to a place of enough love that they are able to intervene and participate in supporting humanity, but they have a deeper understanding of what it is that you are going through, for they have been in human form. These are often called the great masters or ascended masters, or one of the names in which you have placed upon them. And so we are different in that way, but what is the same is that we have the ability to return to source, to that sea of oneness, and to enfold ourselves back into it, and then we are pulled back out at any given moment in time to be of assistance. What is it?
Thank you so much, Raphael. The next question is, do each of us have our own guardian angel, and can that angel change?
It is that each of you carry a signature or a vibration, a certain frequency, and that frequency aligns with our frequencies more easily, such as this one, Kelly's vibration, and mine are very similar as they merge together, allowing me to be present for her. However, there is an ability to tune into so many different angelic beings or ascended masters, or recently, as she was working with the goddesses, let's say the energy of Lakshmi. And so you can tune into the vibration of any of these energies at any given moment in time to support you. And some of them, even when you're not seeking them or looking for them, will present themselves because there is a knowing deep within your being, or a need for them to show up in order for healing to occur in your energetic field. As an example, it was last summer, this one was in a deep sleep, and a big black panther came to her bedside, where she had never been connected with the spirit of the animal spirit guide before and didn't know what to expect. But as this panther showed up, it came at a critical time of healing to align her with the understanding and the reconnection with her inner workings of power. And so it is that this spirit guide, in a sense, just came at a time that was needed. And so all of you have access to all of these different energies all of the time, and they will present themselves to you, or you may call upon them and connect with them when you are needing them. However, yes, you have many different angels with you, and sometimes you bring them with you and they stay and remain right next to you for an entire lifetime, in which you may have a conscious awareness of or not, but you'll notice that you are able to, or many things that perhaps could have easily occurred by some chance miracle did not, and that is us being present for you and taking care of things. We have many angels that simply only work with traffic, and as your population is growing, we have more and more on this particular team, because we are intervening all the time and taking precautions to support you from making situations more difficult than needed due to the aspects of Earth and how it works in that you could collide. So it is that there is endless, infinite beings that you would name angels, spirits, guides, and so forth that are present. And at any time that you want to choose to command or demand them to come in to your field, you may do so. And if there is an alignment in vibration, they will be present for you to support and love you. But you all have particular angelic beings that are present with you in this lifetime, and it wants you to know that it's not singular. So it is that as I am here right now, speaking through this one to talk to all of you, I can simultaneously be speaking through another right now at another location geographically on your planet, and I can be at the birth of a baby being born and being present for a soul that is passing and intervening in a healing and creating a miracle, all instantaneously and simultaneously, for there is no linear time and it is not sequential. And so the laws that apply to the human relationship to Mother Earth do not apply from where it is that we are. So it is that I can be and am everywhere all at once. What is it?
Wow, thank you, Raphael. The next question is, what is it like from your perspective in the angelic realm when we call upon you? I know it may be difficult to describe with our language, but can you please try to explain how you feel, hear, and sense our calls, prayers, and invocations?
It is a pulling, it's a pulsation feeling. We feel a pulse, like a ripple in a wave that comes upon us, and that wave is a calling or a pulling. And that pulling comes, and as it comes, we align ourselves with the vibration that is calling us, and we appear wherever it is that we are being called. It is sometimes difficult to explain from your perspective because you see us or think of us as angels with wings flying about, but we're really a vibration, a wave, a light, and a frequency of energy. And that energy is aligned or tuned into something. And when you tune into us, it is a pulling in which it calibrates with where you are. But it is not necessarily, although it would seem outside of yourself, it is also inside. For we are outside of you in a soup of light and wave frequency, but we are also inside you. And it's not so much an inside in the cellular structure of your cells and in your DNA as that we are you. It is a soup of energy. It is light waves. We are light. We are spirals and spirals of light. And so it is that when you're calling upon us, you are creating an intention. And the intention in thought form, when aligned with emotion, begins to align with our frequency, and that brings our frequency into focus as to where you are. And we merge together, creating an opening that allows an awareness of our energy field to participate in yours so that they can dance together. And these standing waves begin to intertwine and interact and move and spiral together in a playful way in which we can assist you on whatever it is that you are seeking. But we are not, in a sense, from your perspective, flying down with big wings and a cape hovering over you. And although you may feel that, that's because the soup of light, that frequency, is permeating your energetic field. It's coming into your field, so you feel the resonance of our energy. But we are everything and everywhere. We are you. and that you identify us as separate, as a hierarchy, that you're human and we are angelic, and so therefore we are greater or better than you, but we actually are not, because we are you. We are just the part of you that is not in this dense form, in the forgetting. We are in an awakened conscious state of a larger perspective, in a sense, of what is occurring, but we're all participating together. And so our desire for humanity to heal in Mother Earth is as great as you are, because we are you. So when energies speak of that everything is one, it really is. You really are everything. You are God. You are Source. You are love. You are an angel. You are everything. Everything. And everything is you, and you live in the soup of that. And that soup also lives inside you. And there is no differentiation between it. You identify yourself with the limitation of the flesh, thinking that that's the end of who you are, that you are just that. But you are so much more than that, for that is a speck of who you are. And so it is that when you call upon us, you begin to align with the vibration that we are vibrating at, which is, although we don't like to use lower and higher, in a sense a higher frequency. It's a higher vibration, and it's outside of the laws, of the universal laws that are contained with the earth plane. And so when you begin to vibrate with the intent of connecting with us, it's a raising your vibration to bring up your frequency to our place in which a connection merges and comes. And so from our perspective, we're sleeping in a sense of this sea of oneness. And then the intent that comes from your consciousness to call upon us is like a heart beating. It's a pulsating feeling where we feel pulled in the direction of that vibration. And as we align with that vibration, we can sense and feel your despair or your pain or your need. And what we want to do then is begin to step into your frequency and elevate it so that you can move away from that place or move through it to shift it to an understanding of something more. And when you can align with that, you're aligning with ultimately the vibration of love. And when you ultimately align with the vibration of pure, complete, unconditional love, you make what you would think of like a heart connection with us from the angelic realm. And from that spark of heart intertwining connection, or where the waves begin to dance together in the light, is where miracles occur and where we can be of the greatest assistance to you. What is it?
That is so amazing. Thank you for explaining, Raphael. The next question is, I know that many of us feel our deceased loved ones supporting us as spirit guides. Can you please explain how this works? Also, if the soul of our deceased loved one decides to incarnate again, can they continue to energetically guide us in spirit?
Yes, to all of that. When it is that you leave physical body, you have many choices. And some beings will instantaneously choose to just merge with the light, that sea of oneness we spoke of for a while, in which they are, the pulsation of their essence is in a resting period. Others may choose to quickly go off to do other work in which they are destined to do, want to do for the planet, or for other areas that we will not engage fully in at this time. And others choose to remain present where it is that they are, to finish work that they have here and to assist those that they love. And others choose to leave a piece or a part of themselves here and another part to be present doing other work. And there is much, much, much more to it than that, but perhaps that's a simple way to give some understanding. And so it is that one who has passed can easily remain present and be supportive and loving and helpful and around to create an agreement. Often an agreement will happen when someone chooses to leave their body, but also to remain present with the family to assist them in all areas of their life, that they agreed that they would leave or the body, or what you would call die, and that in that they would choose to remain to help karmically create changes and shifts and an awakening in the consciousness and to be present, so that the learning and the work that they are doing in their agreements with their loved one continues. It just continues without the physical body. Those beings often will be present and one can feel them and connect with them regularly. Sometimes you'll have people very close to you and you'll have a sense, you'll know that when they die, they were just gone instantly off somewhere else, or that they merged with the light, or they had a different mission, and you really cannot feel them anymore. They're not present. And others feel very present. They're around not only just a few days after the death where they're still in between worlds, but many years after that, where the vibration is so strong and their commitment to the family and to the work collectively is so intense that they remain very, very present. Now, when they do this, they are being of assistance, but they have the ability to travel from being in the realm of which they can still have connection with you and going into higher realms or schools, what you might call mystery schools of learning or teachings or understanding of cosmic energy and so forth. Or they may be moving into places where they are elevating their skill sets and ability to do work, and beyond that to do things for the planet. An example is someone who chose to have an agreement to leave but still remains to be in communication, to be assistance to loved ones, what you would call a guardian angel, overseeing and be supportive, but they also are in their own learning environment. For just because they are no longer in physical form does not mean that they know everything, for they are still learning and growing as well. And the personality can even stay intact and the energy of who they are. Sometimes in order for them to have a greater sense and to stay grounded to do their work on earth, you will feel them and you will sense things that they are wanting that are part of the sensation of the earth in order to help them remain here. You might start feeling a smell that they had, or wanting to eat food that they ate, or travel to places that they went. Doing things that became familiar to when they were in physical form supports them in remaining as present as possible here. They can guard you, love you, and be present, and at the same time be doing other work. It is that right now on planet Earth, many beings that had been very present with others that you may not be feeling as strongly as you had in the past is because they have been called to assist the Mother Earth at this time. For it is that the energy that is emanating off the planet and consciousness must begin to shift. And as doing so, we are calling upon many of the higher vibrational energies that are no longer in physicality to support a ring of light around the planet right now. And that ring of light is containing a healing ring around Earth to maintain an equilibrium, to support it as it goes through many intense transitions, to allow the transitions to be as smooth and easy for humanity as possible. And so it is that one who has passed can be assisting in that, and at the same time be pulled like a pulsation, just like the pulsing feeling that we have from the angelic realm into humanity in order to be of service. When you call to them or cry out to a loved one who has passed, they feel that pulse as that pulsation moves through the resonance of their frequency, aligning them back to you to be of support if they are still accessible. Sometimes they are not accessible if they have fully merged into the light or have taken on an agreement of a new assignment or have incarnated. The question about incarnation and if they have come through that part of their being into a new body, it is that the resonance of the blueprint of who it was that they are still and always remains. For it is that you are so vast and large that it is that you can still be incarnated as the essence of your original soul in a new body while still maintaining the vibration or imprint of who it was that you were in a last lifetime, to be like an overlay or a thin layer of energy that is still like a veil of presence for others. Sometimes you'll feel this when a loved one has been very strong and present for you and then no longer as strong, but you feel a thinness to them, like they are lighter but there, but not as strong as they were. That can be because the larger piece of their being has reincarnated or has moved on to another assignment. This is a very, very, very simplistic explanation to something that is more complicated and cannot be explained with the words in which I have to use or the perspective or understanding of a being in human form. And at the same time, it is very, very simple in that it is all the same energy swirling and moving about at different layers of vibrations and frequencies, assisting one another and elevating, and that we are all working collectively together to shift some of these denser energies that got caught due to the experiment of free will. What is it?
That was a wonderful explanation. Thank you so much. The next question is, how is it that newer seekers seem to have, for lack of a better term, better results when they're learning how to work with angels for the first time? From what I've seen, someone who doubts but is curious can sometimes have a mind-blowing first encounter with the angelic realms. Meanwhile, someone who believes but is maybe uncertain can spend a long, long time trying to experience that sort of, again, for lack of a better term, beginner's luck. Why is that?
It is innocent perception. It is a willingness to just be open. Sometimes it is the earnest seeking that gets in the way because an expectation is in place of how it should present itself. But allowing and slowly letting go and surrendering and opening to however it may show itself to you. It might present itself in a very different way of the expectation of how it should be. And the expectation itself that one who's been seeking for a very long time should therefore have a deeper and quicker connection to the angelic realm rather than someone who's just opened up newly to it. That is combining or binding the energy into the idea of a format of an expectation or a rule, and that shuts it down in itself. So the easiest way to connect to our place or vibration is to just be open to the receiving of it, the letting go, the surrendering for it to appear in whatever way it wants to appear without deciding how it should appear. And in doing so, you begin to play in the realm of magic, synchronicity, and all of the beauty that comes with that, because the mind has gotten out of the way. When the mind is in trying to control or to force something, it doesn't work. Even with this one, Kelly, often she'll be having to connect or wanting to a specific energetic field of a goddess, let's say, for her last class. And the more she tries to connect with it, she just can't. But when she fully surrenders and lets go, well, either I will or I won't, or it will show up or it won't, and however it will be, and she lets it go completely, is when it shows itself. And it might not show itself in the way she's expecting. It might come through a friend or a shopkeeper or a phone call, or a book might show up, or you might see something in the mail with a certain word, and that word will connect you to something. You don't know how it will present itself, or it is a mystical adventure, and it can be fun. It's like almost sometimes going on a scavenger hunt and just being playful with wherever it is that it leads you. So open up to the possibility that the way you think it might need to show itself, it might not. The other thing is the easiest time to connect is in that waking time around 5 a.m. when the sun is beginning to rise, because the control mechanisms of the mind have rested for at least close to 8 hours, and so they're not operating in strong form, and you're in the most susceptible, open state to move beyond the veil and to connect with beings and information and knowing. Many of you ask, well, how do I know that what I'm hearing isn't just my mind or my thoughts or that I'm making it happen or wishing it to happen? How do I know it's real? Well, we want to ask you, what is real? Everything is real in a sense, and as you open up to the possibility that it is true, it is all you anyway. So even if it is your thought, and that thought is connected with something outside of self, it is you. You see, because it is just opening up to that possibility and letting go. And the more you open, it's like opening the dam in a river and begins to flow. And when it flows, it becomes so strong and so powerful and so beautiful that you know it is coming from pure love, and that it is guiding you, and that the universe is conspiring to bring you the perfect union of whatever it is you are needing at any given moment in time. So it is trusting and allowing in something larger than self, which actually is the highest aspect of self, and trusting in that inner knowing and in that wisdom and opening your heart to it. The easiest way to connect is to move into the vibration of love, to feel love in your heart, to open up your heart, to surrender, to let go of expectation and to just be with it. And sometimes when you're least expecting it, when you've completely let go of trying, is when it presents itself. Just like if you're studying or trying to find a problem or solve a problem to something, and you're working and you're working and you're working at it, and then you just say, let it go, and you step away and you go out and you take a walk and you come back, the answer is right there, and it was there all along, because you're not forcing it, you've just let go. And so let go and open up and release and trust and know that it's right there, and it's not in trying to find it that it presents itself. It's in a willingness to open to it that it shows up. Wow. What is it?
Wow, thank you so much. The next question is, hello, I love you. What is a technique we can use to open ourselves and be in alignment with mind, body, and spirit to best receive guidance and direction from the angels, guides, and masters? Also, how can we ensure that only those rooted in unconditional love find their way to us without interference from any darker energies? Thank you, beloved Raphael.
often in our work together that you are frequency and that you are energy and that you are light and waves. And it is that when you speak of darker energy, it's actually just denser energy. And denser energy can get in your field when there is a break or a tear in your frequency or your energetic fabric. In a sense, around you is what you would call, it looks like, let's say, in human form, like a screen door in the summertime. And you have this screen around you that you want it to be open. You want the glass door to be open, the screen to be there so that the light and the waves of energy can move in and out. But you need the screen to be in place so that everything can't just come in that could perhaps be detrimental or harmful. So when there is a tear in that screen or that fabric of your energetic field, there's an opening, and then in that opening, if it is open too wide, it can attract lower, denser vibrations that can get caught in your field, and that can create havoc and a sense of a lot of discomfort. So it is that opening or tear in the fabric is often aligned with the chakra systems. When a chakra has stopped spinning or when it is still, or it is spinning counterclockwise, the fabric breaks. Now that fabric can be broken through a time when one goes through the dark night of the soul, or they've had a lot of trauma, or they got deeply connected with energies that were not serving them, and that fabric can open up and break. When it breaks, it's like a floodgate allowing other dense energies that are in their learning or karmic process that is perhaps what might be labeled as dark, although it is just dense energy, to infiltrate your field. And when it can come in, it can create difficulties. So it is the healing of that fabric and the solidifying it and the merging it back together to create wholeness so that it becomes a shield in a sense, or a fielding, or like a screen in the summertime so that all the bugs can't fly in. It allows the light to move through it, but it in a sense has a barrier to energies that are denser. So often others will say, well, you must raise your vibrational frequency in order to eliminate that denser or darker energy infiltrating your field. But just elevating the frequency alone, although that's important and very necessary, you still must patch up that break or tear in the field. So the way to do that is simple, and it doesn't have to be hard, is to work with the different chakras and to unify them. In the past, the chakras that you're familiar with, which would be the basic 7 chakras, when they're out of alignment, they can create these tears. Sometimes they're just a little opening, and sometimes they're very wide, depending upon the trauma that may have occurred. But if you unify them, which now because the frequency on the planet has elevated enough that the unified chakra system and the blueprint of that has been encoded in a sense and available to all of you, that simply asking to unify them will seal them up instantaneously. In order to do that, the best way is to drop down into Mother Earth or into your Earth star by sitting first somewhere and feeling love in the heart center and feeling something in which you really, really have enormous unconditional love for, whether it be a child or a friend or yourself or the sunset, or feeling a love pulsating through your being. And as that love moves into your heart, drop it all the way down into the Earth star, and as you drop it into Mother Earth, she will catch it. And as she catches it, her power and her love for you is so strong, ask it to be returned. As it returns, it will come back up into their heart and expand. And as that does that, we want you to bring that energy all the way up into the galactic higher energy, or just your soul star, which is about 12 feet above your crown chakra, and align with that energy being the higher aspect of self. And as you align with it, feel that energy and allow that unconditional love for you and who it is that you are to drop down through the crown and into the heart. As it expands out from the heart, create a bubble of light moving out and all around you. Now you know that you are not only beyond your flesh and not only a few feet out in your auric and etheric field, but that your energetic field can go for miles. Beings who are quite enlightened and ascended masters that have walked the planet, such as Jesus or Buddha, or even ones that are incarnated this time, like the Dalai Lama, their energetic field can go out miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. And so they have to integrate all that energy all the time, keeping it clean and spinning so that it doesn't, its impact when it moves like a sea of light, when, for instance, the Dalai Lama is moving his energetic field just by the presence of who he is affecting everyone in the crowd around him and in the geographical location for miles and miles beyond, and the entire auric field of the planet. And you are all doing that as well to degrees that dependent upon the frequency that you are holding and the love that you reside in your heart. So as you bring that love from beneath the surface of the earth and above into the heart, and you expand it out as far and as wide as you can, then unify your chakras. You can do this by bringing in the soul star and the earth star and collapsing them in, so you can feel one coming up and from above, and as they come in, they go into the heart and they unify as one. That's creating a sphere around you. Then you can move down and just work with the basic ones, let's say the crown and the root, and you're going to pull that love into those two areas, and you're going to unify them. You feel them coming in, one from below, one from above, as they meet in the center point of the heart, and they unify in the heart. Then you're going to go down into the third eye and up to the sacral area, and you're going to bring them and you're going to pull them in together, and they're going to unify into the heart. Then you're going to go down into the throat and into the solar plexus. You're going to pull that together, and that's going to unify. As you practice doing this, you're unifying all the chakras down from the earth star up to the soul star and all the ones in between. Now beneath the root and into the earth star there are several, and between the crown and the soul there are several, and you can work with them too. And as you're unifying all of them, you are creating a unified field around you of love, because it's unified in the heart. And the heart is the center that brings and resonates the love out into the universe and into the field beyond the physical flesh, beyond our body, beyond as far and as wide as you can go, so that you become a sea of love wherever you move. So if you move through a space or a home, or you go into a store, into a city, instead of the vibration infiltrating that tear in your fabric, that fabric is solidified and unified in love, and it is fully sealed, allowing not only for energies to infiltrate you, but for you to affect those energies by being a beacon of light. Divine and perfect as you are, that you are evolving and growing, and that we from the angelic realm are always here and available for you. And just because you can't always see us or hear us or feel us or touch us, or even if you have doubt and you are wondering or not knowing and you're not sure, we want you to know we are here. We are right with you. We are inside you and outside of you. We are you. You live in the sea of our love for you. You are love. We are everywhere. And so as you resonate with that love and you hold love for yourself, being gentle with yourself, caring for yourself, releasing judgment, honoring yourself, honoring your body temple, caring for yourself, loving those around you, walking today in peace, being centered and present in the now, allowing the vibrations of others' energies not to take it personally or to infiltrate you, spending time in stillness and meditation to unify your field so that you can be as present and as loving and as connected and as grounded as possible in this day and every day forward, knowing that we are present and here for you, and that not only am I, as Archangel Raphael, but countless infinite beings of masters, guides, spirits, goddesses, and loved ones are present for you, that all you have to do is call us and feel us, and that pulsation of wave of light moves into our field, and as we feel it, we come to you, and we sit by you, and we care for you, and we support you, and you are not alone. Many, many blessings. Much love today.